this is kind of the underlying basis of the SAG-AFTRA strike. When it comes back down to the misrepresentation of the actors within the AI environment, and as it comes into play, we're leaving one thing off the table, and I want to come back to you, Ashkat, and with this as well, Anton. Um, you're right. You don't really need to have the actor's voice accurately portrayed, but they have actually created the brand. They are actually who the film is all about, the leads. But the director has an input on this. And this is where it comes down to dubbing. And this is when, let's say, I can't believe I'm saying this, the old style of dubbing, which is in the studio, is having the director there, having the linguists that are coming in to be able to put that down, to have it be accurate. But there is a certain level of direction that has to come into play. And I'm wondering, um, do you have that capability currently in the dubbing factor
Yeah,
of directing? Yeah. Okay. Let's go into
exactly.
that. Let's go into that being the director with a technical solution.
Yeah, so this is exactly what we're building as well for non-live content. The idea is that when you talk about higher end content and dubbing, it's about creating uh, creating almost like a piece of art. Dubbing is of course not the whole movie. So dubbed audio track is less sophisticated than the whole movie, but it's still part of the artistic expression. So what we're trying to build are creator tools where you can actually direct AI voices and make AI dubbing sound exactly as you want it, because there's thousands and thousands of different ways to say something correctly and accurately, but there's just every other director would choose different way to do it and to deliver it. And we can, while improving AI models, we will be able to eliminate mistakes and maybe not to zero, but 0.0000 something one. Uh, but what we will not be able to do is create an experience where you press on a button and you get the perfect result out there. Because perfect, there's no such thing as perfect. It's very subjective, and it's subjective to the creative person behind it. So the
So
instrument
how I
that
was gonna
that
say,
we're building.
how do you handle something like singing? So I remember
Yeah.
from an NAB presentation on DCP, and they used Frozen, and they literally had the actress sing the song and do it, and then when they did the demo, they showed how they could basically switch from language to language as the person is singing. Do you find singing to be a more difficult challenge in the AI world?
Singing is definitely a big challenge because there's like you have to convey the rhythmic expression that might be really tricky with different languages and stuff like that. But in general, yeah, there's three mechanisms how you can control AI voice generation. There's like the very coarse one where you switch a bunch of settings, and you can, for example, you can switch accent to different region, or you can switch acoustic environment or something like that. But the two more powerful tools to control it is with prompting, which could be either textual prompting or audio prompting. So textual prompting is more about uh, like a human dubbing director would say. So please say the same, but with more energy. Say it faster.
Mhm.
Maybe emphasize a different kind of thing and stuff like that. And voice prompting is usually about, well, repeat after me. So basically, use my intonation, use my pitch, listen to how I sing it, and do the same.
Nick, you're providing basically an intelligent API, to be able to respond to these kinds of directions. Is this what you're starting to see within the industry? In and of that, is that the technologist is becoming the director of this intonation and capability, but it's leveraging the API that you have?
Very much so. And I love the way that Anton phrased it, where it's like it really is art at the end of the
Oh
day.
yeah,
And
yeah,
it's not
very
going to
much.
be one click of a button and get it to the exact place that you want it in every language. And I think some of the points that Anton was bringing up kind of really goes into the complexities of how to do this properly. So yes, Google has APIs, but what we are really seeing from our customers is when you get into dubbing in different languages, there's all this nuance that happens and all these like tweaks that you need to make for maybe assigning emotions to particular words if it didn't come out the right way, or changing like pitch and tone. And this is where you really see kind of like a team of people come together to make the final product as close to the original art that happened in the first place. Or if, like, let's say they want to take it a different direction for a different market, they have the ability to kind of make those tweaks. So we're kind of working on our own platform that allows people to do that. But very much today, it's just the APIs. So Anton, I'm happy you're working on the same things.
I just visualize living in the South, having these dials. It's like a little more Texas, a little more Tennessee, a little less Georgia, add in a little Alabama. And so, all right, now I got the perfect accent.
Yeah, it's see for us West Coast guys, it's all the same.
Yeah.